Hi guys, James here from Ground Force. We're at the Swampfox Optics stand at SHOT Show 2025. We've got Joe with us. How you going, Joe?
Good, James. Good to see you guys again.
Excellent. So we're going to run through the prism sights from Swampfox. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what are the models?
Absolutely, yeah. So Swampfox has 4 different prism options, all the way from a micro 1x, what we call it, to a more full-size 5x fixed magnification. So our micro is going to be our Raider. It's a Raider 1x. It's a great red dot alternative. Those who have an astigmatism, those who perhaps don't need illumination all the time, shooting outdoors, bright sunlight, and those who maybe aren't confident necessarily or don't want to be changing battery all the time, you can use it without batteries, right? Great things about prisms is they're etched reticles, right? So if you have an astigmatism, you see that starburst, smearing, clustering, basically anything that's not that perfect, crisp.
And that is the big difference between these and red dots. So, just to clarify, like a prism and a red dot are different.
They are different, yeah. Traditional rifle dots or red dots for large frame rifles and long guns and things like that. Essentially 2 pieces of glass, right, with a projected reticle, whereas prisms have a lot more glass inside that's essentially bouncing that reticle around. And then because of the etching, the illumination is filling that etching, and so only parts of the reticle may be illuminated, but it creates a more crisp reticle, which is why it's better for those who struggle for clarity on traditional rifle dots. So if you have that,
So I do have astigmatism, and I find like the prisms here just unbelievably clear.
Absolutely.
And obviously with the reticles, like the reticles are a lot more advanced than what's in a red dot as well.
Absolutely, and the other difference too, as we get into our larger ones, is the ability to, with larger fixed magnifications, to add some ranging built in too. Right? So it's not just a single dot; it's a horseshoe or a circle or dot plus MOA or mil ranging, things like that. So Raider 1X, super durable, and it tends to go for all prisms based on how they're built. Die-cast aluminum body, which is a little bit different, so not CNC machines. Raider's available with a 6 MOA dot dedicated, red and green, as well as a ranging reticle built in, more so for AR platforms. It provides some holdovers for short and medium distance.
So
Raider's great.
Next one on the range here, so.
Next is going to be Blade, right? So Raider is our micro 1X. Blade is going to be our sort of more full-size 1X prism. So a little bit of a larger window on it, larger body. Obviously, it takes up a little more rail real estate on a traditional firearm, but the reticles are great. Field of view is great. Available also in red and green as well as amber, which is super unique.
Yeah, notice of the amber.
Color blindness, and it's also just great against different backgrounds. People who may be more sensitive to red and green. So from 1X,
so going up in magnification.
Going up in magnification as we go down the rack. We go from 1X to 3X, Trihawk, naturally as a name. Again, large field of view, a larger window, that 3X fixed magnification, right? So if you're shooting at that medium range consistency, you want that dedicated sort of distance. A 3X is going to be great for kind of that mid-range application.
So this one is an etched reticle, green horseshoe in the middle, and then almost like a duplex reticle around that. So it's really cool.
It provides that sort of quick strike, red dot focus. So if you're taking those rapid shots, you're transitioning between targets, you have that quick point of aim. But then again, because you're at that 3X fixed magnification, you still have some range in application as well.
And I've turned that completely off. I can see clearly, and I'd easily be able to shoot with that if there had no battery in it at all.
Right, and so that's the part, right? So it's an etched reticle, so like a traditional rifle scope, perhaps, where it may or may not have illumination, but when the illumination is off, you can still see the reticle because that black etching. So if you're shooting outdoors in bright sunlight, then you still have something you can see, or if you just don't want to use illumination in certain applications, as long as you have some kind of ambient light where you can see that etching, you still have something that you can use to take aim and shoot with.
Yeah, that's an amazing reticle, and it's incredibly clear.
So that's Trihawk, and then last in our Prism series is going to be Saber. It's a 5x dedicated fixed magnification. It's a beast of an optic, both in size. Obviously, 5x requires a bit of a larger footprint, but it's a tank. It can really take a beating. We throw this on machine guns here in the States, and it survives just fine.
So what caliber machine guns you would put it on?
Just about anything. Now, we've done everything from your 9mm to 5.56 to the 308 and larger calibers. It can stand a beating. But again, so if you want that longer range, perhaps a mid to long range, that 5X is going to be good for that, that dedicated. But what's great with Saber is it has two ambidextrous dual RMSC footprints, so your micro reflex red dot sights.
So two?
You've got two, one on each side. So depending on your left or right eye dominant, or depending on how you want to flip the rifle to get that. The benefit being, right, you have that 5X long range, and then you have your close distance, your true 1X for something close quarters. So this is our Sentinel 2, our RMSC footprint red dot here on it. But any optic that has that small micro footprint would work. And the great thing about Saber as well is it has one of the largest field of views at 100 yards. Of 5X prisms that are on the market. So even though it's a 5X, you're still getting a wide field of view downrange, so that if you are, hunting hogs or chasing an animal or chasing different targets, transitioning, you can quickly do that because you still have a wide field of view to view.
And this one has are they MOA or MIL graduations on this one?
MOA, I believe.
MOA?
On that model there.
So it has those graduations printed on the reticle. I can see them clearly, and if you knew the hold-offs there, you would easily be able to shoot some longer distances. I wouldn't say long distance, but you could actually use that to hold off for some longer shots if you needed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have the side. I'm obviously left eye dominant, so that's on the wrong side for me. So, but yeah. But I can put it on either side. So for me, I'd put it on this side. But yeah, even being on the wrong side, it's actually quite.
And it's personal preference. You can roll the rifle in different directions depending on how you have it mounted and how you want to transition from that longer range to that short.
Gangster style.
Of course. But prisms are great. Prisms fill the void for people who, again, maybe have astigmatism, so they don't want to use the traditional dot. But then maybe they don't need the variable transition between like an LPVO or even a more precision scope, but they still want the ability to range. So prisms fill a void. They're great on the eye, and they're usually a lot more durable than traditional rifle dots are.
So that's something, guys, like if you're looking for a red dot, but you want something a little bit better clarity, a little bit stronger, something if the battery goes flat, you got that, you're still going to be able to use the optic. Definitely check out the prism sights from Swampfox. It's probably been one of the products that we've been the most impressed with out of the range, and it's something that we're really happy to bring to the Australian market. And we'll have these available soon in Australia for you guys to buy. So drop into your local dealer and check them out.